The camera opens on a sold-out arena, lights blazing, pyro smoke still hanging in the air as the main event officially gets underway. Michael Cole's voice is confident, almost relaxed, because on paper this match is straightforward. Two top superstars, championship implications, and a crowd ready for a clean finish. The bell rings, the audience roars, and for the first few minutes, everything feels familiar. Lockups, heavy strikes, chants bouncing off the rafters. WWE fans think they know where this is going, and that assumption is exactly why what happens next hits like a thunderbolt. As the pace quickens, commentary starts selling the stakes. Corey Graves talks about momentum, legacy, and what a win tonight could mean heading into the next premium live event. The referee stays focused, counting rope breaks, keeping control. The crowd is loud but comfortable, invested but not shocked. This is wrestling as planned, wrestling as expected, and that sense of order is the calm before disaster. Because just as one superstar lines up a decisive move, something feels off inside the arena. There is no music, no Titantron video, no warning at all. A ripple of noise spreads through the crowd, not a cheer yet, more like confusion turning into disbelief. Cameras scramble, and suddenly the shot cuts to the entrance ramp. Standing there is Becky Lynch. Street gear, serious expression, arms crossed, eyes locked on the ring. The audience erupts instantly, a deafening reaction that drowns out the commentators mid-sentence. Michael Cole can barely get her name out as the referee freezes in place. Inside the ring, the competitors stop cold. One turns toward the ramp in shock, the other in anger. Becky doesn't move. She doesn't smile. She just stares, soaking in the chaos she created without lifting a finger. The crowd is on its feet now, chanting her name, phones in the air, social media exploding in real time. This wasn't advertised. This wasn't teased. And that's why it feels dangerous. The referee tries to restore order, yelling for the match to continue, but the moment is gone. Becky takes one step forward, and the tension snaps. One superstar rolls out of the ring, shouting back at her. The other follows, words flying, hands gesturing, security already rushing down the ramp. Commentary shifts from excitement to urgency, because this main event is slipping out of WWE's control. In the front row, fans argue about what this means, while others just scream in pure disbelief. Producers can be seen shouting through headsets at ringside, and the camera catches Triple H watching from backstage monitors, stone-faced. This is no longer just a match, it is a moment. A line has been crossed, and the entire show now revolves around one unexpected woman standing on the stage. History is being rewritten right now. As security forms a human wall between Becky Lynch and the ring, the atmosphere grows even more volatile. The crowd refuses to sit down, feeding off every second of uncertainty. Chants shift from her name to let her fight, echoing through the arena like a demand rather than a cheer. Commentary tries to piece together context, reminding viewers of Becky's recent absence, the unresolved tensions, and the silence surrounding her status. But none of that explains why she chose this exact main event, this exact moment, to show up unannounced. Inside the ring, the referee finally calls for a stoppage, crossing his arms and signaling for the bell. Boos rain down immediately. Well, fans didn't come to see a no contest, and they know this interruption just robbed them of a finish. One superstar slams the mat in frustration, while the other leans against the ropes, eyes never leaving Becky. The match may be over, but the real confrontation is just beginning. Becky steps closer to the ring now, brushing past security with an intensity that makes even trained guards hesitate. She grabs a microphone from ringside, and the noise somehow gets louder. Michael Cole pauses, letting the moment breathe, because this is raw, unpredictable, and electric. Becky raises the mic but doesn't speak right away. She lets the chants wash over her, jaw clenched, eyes sharp. This silence is deliberate, and it's driving the crowd insane. Finally, she speaks, and her voice cuts through the arena like a blade. She says she's tired of watching from home. She's tired of hearing excuses. She's tired of being told not tonight. Each line is met with cheers, but also tension, because everyone knows she's not here to talk. She points to the ring, calls out both competitors by name, and says neither of them is truly running this division. That statement alone flips the energy from celebration to confrontation. One superstar snaps, rolling back into the ring and demanding Becky get inside, if she has something to prove. The other steps forward too, shouting over the noise, making it clear Becky isn't the only one with unfinished business. Suddenly, security loses control as all three converge near the apron. Shoving breaks out, a mic drops. Crowd explodes as fists start flying, turning the main event aftermath into a full-blown brawl. Producers swarm ringside, referees sprint down the ramp, and commentary goes into damage control mode, repeating that this situation is completely out of hand. Becky finally slides into the ring, and the visual is unreal. Three of the biggest stars in WWE throwing punches, the ropes shaking, the audience losing its mind. This isn't a return segment anymore. This is chaos. As officials manage to separate them, Becky stands tall in the center of the ring, chest heaving, hair disheveled, staring down her rivals. The message is clear without another word spoken. She didn't interrupt the main event for attention. She interrupted it to take it over. And as the show struggles to regain control, one thing is undeniable. WWE has just changed course, and nobody saw it coming. The show cuts to a shaky backstage camera, the kind WWE only uses when something real is unfolding. Becky Lynch is storming through the corridor, jaw tight, eyes blazing, surrounded by referees and officials trying and failing to slow her down. The crowd can still be heard faintly through the walls, roaring in approval. This isn't the polished return video package fans are used to. This is raw, uncomfortable, and unpredictable, and that's exactly why it feels massive. As the camera follows, Becky yanks open a locker room door, and suddenly, the story deepens. Inside are several women from the division, watching the monitor in stunned silence. Some look impressed, others look threatened. No one speaks. Becky scans the room and delivers one line that hits harder than any punch. She says the division moved on without her, but it never moved past her. The silence that follows says everything. This isn't just about tonight's interruption. It's about control. Commentary connects the dots for the audience at home, reminding them of Becky's unfinished rivalries, the titles she never lost, and the questions that have followed her absence. They speculate openly now because the company has clearly lifted the curtain. This wasn't a mistake or a timing issue. This was intentional chaos. And in WWE, intentional chaos usually leads to something enormous. Back in the arena, the crowd buzzes during the next segment, still chanting Becky's name even though she's no longer on screen. Social media graphics flash briefly, showing her name trending worldwide in minutes. That visual alone tells the story. We thrives on moments, and this is already one of them. The interruption didn't just hijack the main event, it hijacked the entire show. Suddenly, the Titantron lights up again, and this time, it's a live shot of Triple H in his office. The reaction is immediate. Fans lean forward, sensing authority entering the equation. He looks calm but serious, choosing his words carefully. He says Becky Lynch forced his hand. He admits the main event didn't end the way anyone planned, but he also acknowledges that Becky reminded everyone why she's a different kind of superstar. The crowd responds with a mixed roar of approval and anticipation. Triple H then drops the line that shifts everything. Says if Becky wants to disrupt the show, she'll do it face-to-face, in the ring, on his terms. Next week, the announcement sends the arena into another frenzy. This isn't a punishment, it's an invitation. And every fan understands what that means in WWE language. The camera cuts back to Becky, backstage, watching the monitor, a slow smirk forming. No words, no gestures. Just that look. She knows exactly what she's done. She didn't just return. She forced WWE's leadership to acknowledge her power. That is the difference between a comeback and a takeover. As the show moves toward its final moments, commentary hammers home the uncertainty. What will Triple H say to Becky in the ring? Which rival will step up first? And what does this mean for the championship picture going forward? The interruption may be over, but the consequences are just beginning. Becky Lynch didn't walk out to steal a moment. She walked out to reclaim the entire spotlight. The following week, the arena feels different before the show even begins. There is an edge in the air, a restless energy that wasn't advertised but is clearly understood. Fans know why they're here. Chants for Becky Lynch start before the opening pyro, echoing through the building like a countdown. When the lights dim and Triple H's music hits, the reaction is loud but impatient. The audience isn't here for ceremony. They want answers. Triple H stands in the ring, microphone in hand, authority written all over his posture. He recaps what happened during the interrupted main event, calling it unacceptable, but also undeniable. He says Becky Lynch forced the conversation, and now the entire WWE universe is listening. The crowd responds with a roar when he calls her name and invites her out. Because this is the confrontation everyone has been waiting for. Becky's music finally hits, and the reaction is nuclear. She steps onto the stage confident, unbothered, eyes locked on the ring. This time, she takes her time, slapping hands, soaking it in, reminding everyone exactly who she is. When she enters the ring, she stands toe-to-toe with Triple H, and the visual alone feels historic. Power meeting defiance, authority meeting rebellion. Triple H asks the question everyone wants answered. Why interrupt the main event? Becky doesn't hesitate. She says the division forgot what urgency looks like. She says the spotlight moved on, but greatness doesn't wait its turn. Every line is sharp, calculated, and met with cheers. She says she didn't come back for applause. Came back to take what's hers, starting with the biggest stage possible. Before Triple H can respond, the tension explodes again. The two superstars from the interrupted main event storm down to the ring, fury written across their faces. The crowd loses it. This is exactly what they hoped for. Words are exchanged, accusations fly, and Becky laughs, clearly enjoying the chaos she created. She says this is what the division has been missing: pressure. Triple H raises his hand, silencing the ring. He makes it official. At the upcoming premium live event, Becky Lynch will face both women in a triple threat match, with championship implications. The announcement detonates the arena. This isn't just a match, it's a statement. Becky didn't wait her turn. She forced herself into the biggest possible fight. The stare-down that follows is intense. 3 competitors, 1 ring, thousands of fans screaming. Commentary sells it as unpredictable, dangerous, and career-defining. Becky smirks. One rival looks furious, the other laser-focused. This is no longer about an interruption. It's about survival at the top of WWE. As the segment ends, Becky raises her fist, the crowd roaring in approval. She interrupted one main event and turned it into a war. The message is clear to everyone watching. Becky Lynch isn't back to fit in. She's back to take over. And at the premium live event, the chaos she started will finally explode. The night of the premium live event arrives, and the atmosphere is electric from the opening match. Commentary reminds viewers repeatedly how this entire card shifted because of one interruption. Becky Lynch's decision to walk out during the main event didn't just change a finish. It changed priorities. Now, the arena is sold out, the crowd louder than ever. And every fan knows the triple threat match is the real main event, no matter where it sits on the card. When Becky's music hits, the reaction is thunderous. She walks out confident, focused, and completely unshaken. The camera cuts to her rivals backstage moments earlier, pacing, stretching, preparing for a fight they didn't plan for until Becky forced it into existence. One by one, they make their entrances, the tension building with every step. At the time all 3 stand in the ring, the noise is deafening. This is chaos with purpose. The bell rings, and the match is relentless from the opening second. Alliances form and collapse in moments. Becky is targeted early, both opponents trying to eliminate the common threat, but she fights back with desperation and fire. The crowd reacts to every near fall, every counter, every impact. Commentary sells the urgency, reminding viewers that Becky created this storm, and now she has to survive it. Midway through the match, the chaos peaks. Bodies crash outside the ring, referees struggle to maintain control, and the audience is on its feet. Becky hits a huge move that nearly ends it, but the breakup comes at the last possible second. The frustration on her face is real. She didn't come this far to fall short. She digs deeper, feeding off the crowd, turning noise into momentum. In the closing moments, everything happens fast. One rival takes a devastating hit and rolls out of the ring. Becky and the remaining opponent trade strikes in the center, neither willing to back down. A signature move, a counter, a sudden opening. Becky capitalizes, covering her opponent as the referee counts 3. The bell rings and the arena explodes. Becky Lynch stands tall, chest heaving as her hand is raised. Commentary calls it vindication. She didn't just return. She proved her point. The interruption that caused outrage now feels inevitable. Becky looks into the camera, holding the championship high, sending a message to the entire division. She is not a memory. She is the present. As the show fades out, the commentators ask the question fans are already debating. Was this chaos worth it? Judging by the reaction, the answer is undeniable. One interruption reshaped an entire event and reminded everyone why unexpected moments define WWE. If you enjoyed this breakdown of one of WWE's most shocking interruptions and its massive fallout, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next unbelievable moment. Drop a comment below telling us where this ranks among the wildest WWE returns you've ever seen. And share this video with a fellow fan who lives for chaos inside the ring.